Once again, good afternoon, everyone. So for today, we're going to discuss module number 3. So organizations and information systems. Now, so we've heard many times about information system, but this time, how information system and organizations influence one another. No? So information systems are built by managers to serve the interests of the business firm. At the same time, the organization must be aware of and open the influences of information system to benefit from new technologies. So the interaction between information technology and organization is complex and is influenced by many mediating factors, including the organization's structure, business processes, politics, culture, surrounding environment, and management decision. We will be able to understand how information system can change social and work life in your organizations. And we will not be able to design the new system successfully or understand existing system without understanding our own business organizations. So as a manager and to become a manager, we need to be the one to decide which system will be built, what they will do, and how they will be implemented. We may not be able to anticipate all of the consequences of these decisions. Some of the changes that occur in business firms because of new information technology investment cannot be foreseen and have results that may or may not meet your expectation. Who would have imagined 15 years ago, for instance, that email and instant messaging would become a dominant form of business communications, and that many managers would be inundated with more than 200 email messages each day? To give us more details about the topic, let us all welcome our presenter. Muted ka, ma'am. Muted.
Ayan. Good afternoon po. Ayan. Once again po, Chapter 3, Organization Structure, Information Systems, and Strategy. Ayan po. Wait lang po, ayaw po mag-ano. Ayan po. Ayan po, nakikita po ba yung slides?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And for CAR's intended learning outcomes, the following questions can be answered after reading this chapter, after discussing this chapter. First, what organization's characteristics must managers be aware of in order to design and implement information systems successfully? What effects do information systems have on businesses? Second one, how can Porter's concept of competing forces assist businesses in creating cutting-edge information-based competitive strategies? Third, how can firms find opportunities for strategic information system applications using the value chain and value web models? Fourth, how can information systems assist organizations gain a competitive edge by leveraging network-based strategies, core strengths, and synergies? Fifth, what problems do strategic information systems attempt to solve and how should they be appreciated? First, what organizational characteristics must managers be aware of in order to design and implement information systems successfully? What effects do information systems have on businesses? Organization refers to a collection of people who are involved in pursuing defined objectives. It can be understood as a social system which comprises all formal human relationships. The organization encompasses division of work among employees and alignment of tasks towards the ultimate goal of the company. So first, we have here politics in organizations. power dynamics and conflicts affecting decision-making. So for example, some departments may resist a new information system for fear of losing control over their processes. Second, organizational characteristics po that must managers be aware of is corporate culture, shared values, and norms that shape how work is done. So for example po, a company with a culture that values innovation is more likely to embrace new technology solutions. Third, organizational characteristics. Characteristic is corporate environments. It is an external factors like social and natural environment, market trends, and regulations that influence the organization. Like for example, a change in industry regulations might require updating information systems to comply with new standards. Fourth, organizational characteristic that managers must be aware of in order to design and implement information systems successfully is structure of an organization. Hierarchy and communication pathways within the organization. Like for example, an organization with a flat structure might find it easier to implement cross-departmental communication through new systems. So we have 5 organizational type of organizational structures. We have entrepreneurial structure. This is best for small startups, centralized decision-making, and focus on innovation. Next one, machine bureaucracy, mid-sized manufacturing firms, standardized processes, and clear hierarchies. Next one is divisionalized bureaucracy. This is for large corporations, semi-autonomous divisions, specialization in different areas. Professional bureaucracy, knowledge-based fields, expertise-driven decision-making, collaboration among professionals. And lastly, adhocracy. This is consulting, creative industries, flexibility and innovation, decentralized and project-based teams. The last organizational characteristic that managers must be aware of is business routines and processes. These are the standardized ways of carrying out organizational tasks. Like for example, implementing an automated inventory management system to improve the efficiency of stock tracking and ordering. So next one, the effects of information systems on businesses are profound and impact various aspects of operation and business success. Here are some key effects of information systems on businesses. First, improve efficiency. Task gets faster and smoother, raising productivity. For example, automated inventory like Amazon. Next key effect is enhanced decision-making. Quick access to reliable data leads to better choices. Like for example, real-time analytics like Google Analytics. Another key effects, increase productivity, teamwork improves and work gets easier. For example, remote collaboration like Microsoft Teams. Next effect is better customer service. Communication improves, leading to satisfied clients. Like for example, instant customer support of Apple. Next, competitive advantage is one of the key effects of information systems on businesses. It is an innovation and agility give a competitive edge. Like for example, innovative solutions like Tesla. Next one, data-driven insights, trends, and improvements become visible. For example, trend analysis or user trends like Facebook. Next, global reach. Businesses can expand internationally with ease. For example, virtual meetings like Zoom, Google Meet, and etc. Profit maximization, cut costs, and increase revenue and maximizing profits. For example, online retail like Amazon, digital marketing like Facebook ads, TikTok ads, and etc. And social media marketing, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and etc. Next, key effect of information systems on businesses, supply chain optimization, cost drop, inventory improves, and suppliers are managed better. For example, RFID tracking of Walmart. Risk management. Risks are spotted quickly and managed well. For example, fraud detection of PayPal. Innovation and new business models. Systems spark fresh business ideas and models. Like for example, e-commerce platforms or app-based transport. For example, Grab or Uber. And second learning outcome is how can Porter's concept of competing forces assist businesses in creating cutting-edge, information-based competitive strategies. We have here the 5 competing forces according to Michael Porter, and we also have shown here the application of how Porter's concept of competing forces assists businesses in creating cutting-edge information-based competitive strategies in the case of Shopee, an e-commerce platform across various countries in Southeast Asia. First one, conventional rivals. Innovate to stand from existing competitors using unique approaches. For example, Shopee competes with Lazada and other e-commerce giants. To stand out, Shopee focuses on gamified shopping experiences, offering interactive games and promotions during its sales events. Second, new market entrance. It develops advanced information-based strategies that newcomers find challenging to replicate. For example, Shopee Growth attracts new entrants. They offer a unique Shopee Guarantee feature, assuring buyers of the quality of their purchases and building trust. Third one is alternative goods and services. Leverages insights to make offerings distinct and less replaceable or less substitutable. So offline shopping remains an alternative for the customers. Shopee emphasizes its free shipping and discounts, creating a compelling reason for customers to choose online shopping. Fourth one is customers use data to personalize experiences and anticipate changing needs. Like for example, Shopee uses data-driven AI to recommend products based on user behavior, enhancing the personalization of the shopping journey and increasing customer satisfaction. And the fifth one is suppliers. It collaborates for resource access and maintain a competitive edge. For example, Shopee engages with sellers through workshops and training, fostering a sense of community. They also offer tools for sellers to analyze sales data and market trends. Third learning outcome, how can firms find opportunities for strategic information system applications using the value chain and value web models? Let's delve into both the value chain model and the value web model and how firms can identify strategic opportunities for information system applications. First, information system applications using these models. First one is value chain model. The value chain model is introduced by Michael Porter. It is a framework that breaks down a company's activities into primary and support activities with the aim of understanding how value is created within an organization. It views firms as a series of activities that add value to products or services. It identifies a sequence of activities through which raw materials are transformed into the final product or service and ultimately delivered to customers. Highlights activities where competitive strategies can best be applied. Primary activities versus secondary activities. Primary activities are most directly related to the production and distribution of the firm's products and services, which create value for the customer. It includes inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, sales, and marketing and service. As shown in the figure, support activities make the delivery of the primary activities possible and consist of organization infrastructure, like administration and management, human resources like employee recruiting, hiring, and training. Next, technology, improving products and the production process. And lastly, procurement, the purchasing input. At each stage, determine how information systems can improve operational efficiency and improve customer and supplier relationship. It also utilizes benchmarking industry best practices. The model highlights how each activity contributes to the creation of value and competitive advantage. Next one is Value Web Model. It is a collection of independent firms using highly synchronized IT to coordinate value chains to produce product or service collectively. It is more customer-driven, less linear operation than traditional value chain. The Value Web Model extends the value chain model by recognizing that businesses don't operate in isolation. Rather, they exist within a network of relationships, interactions, and collaborations with various stakeholders, including suppliers, partners, customers, and even competitors. The Value Web Model emphasizes the interconnectedness of these relationships and how value is co-created across the network. It is a more dynamic and holistic perspective compared to the linear nature of the value chain model. So both the value chain model and the value web model can be utilized by firms to identify opportunities for strategic information system applications. So for value chain model, streamlined operations, information systems can be employed to optimize processes and operations within each value chain activity, reducing costs and enhancing efficiency. Next one, enhance customer experience. Systems like customer relationship management or CRM can improve interactions with customers, aiding in understanding their needs and preferences. Supply chain management. Information systems can aid in monitoring and managing the flow of materials and products within the supply chain, minimizing disruptions and delays. For Value Web Model, first one, collaboration. Information systems can facilitate communication and collaboration with partners and suppliers, leading to smoother coordination and shared insights. Next one is market insights. By analyzing data from various sources within the Value Web, firms can gain a comprehensive understanding of market trends and customer behaviors. Last, ecosystem innovation. Firms can identify opportunities to innovate by creating new products, services, or business models through interactions with other stakeholders. So both models emphasize the role of information systems in enhancing operational efficiency, decision-making, and value creation across the organization and its ecosystem. To identify opportunities, firms should assess each activity or interaction point within their value chain and value web, seeking areas where information systems can provide a competitive advantage, whether through cost reduction, differentiation, or innovation. It's also essential to remain adaptable as the dynamic nature of value webs requires ongoing adjustments to capitalize on emerging opportunities. So that's all po. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much, Madam. No, so our presenter already discussed the value, or the value web. No? So the ideas of synergies is that when the output of some units can be used as inputs to the other units or to organizations' pull markets and expertise, and these relationships lower costs and generate profits. No? So we have an enhancing core competencies. No? Yet another way to use information system for competitive advantage is to think about ways that system can enhance core competencies. So the argument is that the performance of all business units will increase in so far as these business units develop or create a central core of competencies. Because a core competency is an activity for which a firm is a world-class leader. Core competencies may involve being the world's best miniature parts designer, the best package delivery service, or the best thin film manufacturer. In general, a core competency relies on knowledge that is gained over many years of practical field experience with a technology. So the practical knowledge is typically supplemented with a long-term research efforts and committed employees. Because any information system that encourages the sharing of knowledge across business unit enhances the competencies. Now, such systems might encourage or enhance existing competencies and help employees become aware of new external knowledge. Such system might also help a business leverage existing competencies to related market. We have, of course, what we call network-based strategies. So, the availability of internet and networking technology have inspired strategies that take advantage of firms' abilities to create networks or network with each other. Network-based strategies include the use of network economics, a virtual company model, and a business ecosystems. Now, network economics, business models based on a network may help the organizations strategically by taking advantage of network economics. In traditional economics, for those who are graduated in economics, BS economics, or the economics of factories and agriculture, production experiences diminishing returns. So the more any given resource is applied to production, the lower the marginal gain in input, until a point is reached where the additional inputs produce no additional outputs. This is the law of where the additional inputs produce, of course, diminishing return. Now, this is the law of diminishing returns, and it is a foundation for most of modern economics. In some situation, the law of diminishing returns does not work. For instance, in a network, the marginal cost of adding another participants are about zero, whereas the marginal gain is much larger. So the larger the number of subscribers in a telephone system or the internet, the greater the value to all participants because each user can interact with more people. So it is not much more expensive to operate a television station with 1,000 subscribers than with 10 million subscribers. The value of a community of people grows with size, whereas the cost of adding new members is inconsequential. And that is for an economics perspective. An economic perspective. Now, the virtual company model, this will be another network-based strategy. Yung sinasabi nating virtual company model. A virtual company, also known as virtual organizations, use networks to link people, assets, and ideas, enabling it to ally with other companies to create and distribute products and services without being limited by traditional organizations' boundaries or even physical locations. Now, one company can use the capabilities of another company without being physically tied to that company. So the virtual company model is useful when a company finds it cheaper to acquire products, services, or capabilities from an external vendor, or when it needs to more quickly or to move quickly to exploit new market opportunities and lacks the use of time and resources to respond on its own. So, the internet and the emergence of digital firms call for some modifications of the industry competitive forces model. We have, of course, the traditional Porter model assumes a relatively static industry environment, relatively clear-cut industry boundaries, and a relatively stable set of suppliers, substituting customers with a focus on industry players in the market environment. Instead of participating in a single industry, some of today's firms are much more aware that they participate in industry sets, collection of industries that provide related services and products. So business ecosystem is another term for this closely coupled but interdependent network of suppliers, distributors, outsourcing firms, transportation service firms, and technology manufacturers. Because the concept of business ecosystem builds on the idea of the value web described earlier. So the main difference being that corporation takes place across many industries rather than many firms. For instance, yung Microsoft and Walmart provides platform composed of information system technologies and services that thousands of other firms in different industries use to enhance their own capabilities. Okay. Another, of course, is the strategic information system. SIS often change the organization as well as its products, services, and operating procedures. driving the organizations into new behavioral patterns. Successfully using information system to achieve a competitive advantage is challenging and requires coordinations of technology, organizations, and management. So, the competitive advantage the strategic system conferred do not necessarily last long enough to ensure long-term profitability because competitors can retaliate and copy strategic systems. No, competitive advantage is not always sustainable. Markets, customer expectation, and technology change, globalization has made these changes even more rapid and unpredictable. Because the internet can make competitive advantage disappear very quickly because virtually all companies can use this technology. Classic strategic systems such as American Airlines, no? Yung kanilang Sabre computerized reservation system, yung Citibank's ATM system, and FedEx, no? Package tracking system benefited by being the first in their industry. Then rival system emerged, no? Andiyan si Amazon.com was an e-commerce leader but now faces competition from eBay, Yahoo, and Google because information systems alone cannot provide an enduring business advantage. System originally intended to be strategic frequently become tools to survival required by every firm to stay in business, or they may inhibit organizations from making the strategic changes essential for future success. So, the research on IT and business performance has found that the more successfully a firm can align information technology with its business goals, the more profitable it will be. And only 1/4 of firms achieve alignment of IT with the business. So about half of a business firm's profits can be explained by alignment of IT with business. Most businesses get it wrong. Information technology takes on a life of its own and does not serve management and shareholder interests very well. Instead of business people taking an active role in shaping IT to the enterprise, they ignore it, claiming not to understand IT and tolerate failure in the IT area as just a nuisance to work around. Such firms pay up hefty price in poor performance. Successful firms and managers understand what IT can do and how it works, take an active role in shaping its use, and measure its impact on revenues and profits. Ganun kaano yung IT, no? Now, adapting that kind of strategic system, as what we discussed earlier, these are socio-technical changes affecting both social and technical elements of the organization can be considered as a strategic transition, a movement between level of socio-technical systems. And of course, it is important, of course, that such changes often entail blurring of organizational boundaries, both external and internal. Suppliers and customers must become intimately linked and may share each other's responsibilities. And managers will need to devise new business processes for coordinating their firm's activities with those of customers, suppliers, and other organizations. Because the organization change requirements surrounding new information systems are so important that they merit attention throughout these discussions. Okay, so I think that's it for the continuations of Madam, our first presenter do sa chapter. Okay, so to